Connecting 125 volts, 20 amps duplex receptacles to a dimming panel is a violation of the National Electrical Code. The National Electrical Code, specifically Section 404.14b, explicitly states that receptacle outlets shall not be connected to circuits that are controlled by dimmers. This regulation is in place to prevent several potential hazards. Dimmers are designed primarily to control lighting loads by varying the voltage supplied to the lighting fixture. This method of control, while suitable for lights, is not appropriate for standard receptacle outlets for several reasons. Firstly, overheating can occur. Dimmers typically reduce the voltage delivered to the load, which, in the case of a receptacle, can cause it to overheat. This is especially true when high wattage appliances or devices with significant inrush currents are connected to these receptacles. High wattage appliances draw a large amount of current, and when the voltage is reduced by the dimmer, a current draw can increase, leading to excessive heat generation within the receptacle and the wiring connected to it. Inrush current refers to the initial surge of current that some devices draw when they are first turned on. This surge can be several times higher than the normal operating current and can further exacerbate the overheating issue. Secondly, damage to appliances can result. Many appliances and electronic devices are designed to operate within a specific voltage range. When connected to a dimming circuit, they receive a variable voltage that can damage sensitive components. For example, electronic devices often contain microprocessors and other integrated circuits that are highly sensitive to voltage fluctuations. Operating these devices at incorrect voltages can lead to malfunction, reduced lifespan, or complete failure. Motors and appliances like refrigerators or washing machines are also susceptible to damage from variable voltage. These motors are designed to operate at a specific voltage and frequency, and deviations from these parameters can cause them to overheat, run inefficiently, or even burn out. Thirdly, a significant fire risk exists. In a worst-case scenario, the combination of overheating and appliance damage can lead to electrical fires. Overheated receptacles can melt their plastic housings and ignite nearby combustible materials. Damaged appliances can also develop internal short circuits that generate sparks and heat, increasing the risk of fire. The electrical fires are particularly dangerous because they can spread quickly and are difficult to extinguish with water. They often require specialized fire extinguishers designed for electrical fires. Therefore, it is crucial for safety reasons that receptacles always be connected to dedicated circuits that are not controlled by a dimmer. A dedicated circuit provides a stable and consistent voltage supply, ensuring that the receptacles and the devices connected to them operate within their specified parameters. This reduces the risk of overheating, appliance damage, and fire. When installing or modifying electrical wiring, it is essential to adhere to the National Electrical Code and local electrical codes. These codes provide detailed guidelines and requirements for safe electrical installations. Consulting with a qualified electrician is also highly recommended to ensure that the work is done correctly and safely. A qualified electrician has the knowledge, skills, and experience to identify potential hazards and implement appropriate safety measures. In addition to Section 404.14b, other sections of the National Electrical Code may also be relevant to the installation of receptacles and dimmers. For example, Section 210.21 addresses the permissible loads for branch circuits, while Section 310.15 covers the ampacity of conductors. It is important to consider all applicable code requirements when planning and executing electrical work. The use of dimmers should be restricted to lighting circuits only. There are various types of dimmers available, each designed for specific types of lighting loads. For example, some dimmers are designed for incandescent lamps, while others are designed for LED lamps. Using the correct type of dimmer for the lighting load is essential to ensure proper operation and prevent damage to the dimmer or the lighting fixture. Furthermore, it is important to ensure that the dimmer is properly rated for the load it is controlling. Dimmers are typically rated in terms of their maximum wattage capacity. Exceeding this capacity can cause the dimmer to overheat and fail. When selecting a dimmer, it is always a good idea to choose one with a slightly higher wattage rating than the load it will be controlling. The National Electrical Code provides detailed requirements for the installation of electrical wiring in various types of buildings. These requirements are designed to protect people and property from electrical hazards. Adhering to the National Electrical Code is not only a legal requirement, but also a moral obligation to ensure the safety of those who will be using the electrical system. When working with electricity, it is always better to err on the side of caution. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical work, it is best to consult with a qualified electrician. Attempting to perform electrical work without proper knowledge and training can be extremely dangerous and can result in serious injury or even death. In summary, connecting 125 volts 20 amps duplex receptacles to dimming panels is a violation of the National Electrical Code Section 404.14b and poses several safety hazards, including overheating, appliance damage, and fire risk. Receptacles should always be connected to dedicated circuits that are not controlled by dimmers to ensure a safe and reliable electrical system. Always consult with a qualified electrician when performing electrical work and adhere to all applicable code requirements. To further elaborate on the potential hazards, let's consider specific scenarios. Imagine a scenario where a space heater is plugged into a receptacle controlled by a dimmer. Space heaters typically draw a significant amount of current, often close to the maximum current rating of the receptacle. If the dimmer is set to reduce the voltage, the space heater will draw even more current in an attempt to maintain its heat output. This increased current can overload the receptacle and the wiring, leading to overheating. The heat generated can melt the receptacle's plastic housing and potentially ignite nearby combustible materials such as curtains or furniture. Another scenario involves a computer or other sensitive electronic device connected to a receptacle controlled by a dimmer. These devices are designed to operate within a narrow voltage range, typically around 120 volts plus or minus 10%. If the dimmer reduces the voltage significantly, the computer may malfunction or shut down unexpectedly. Repeated exposure to voltage fluctuations can damage the computer's internal components, such as the power supply or the motherboard, leading to costly repairs or replacement. Furthermore, consider the impact on motor-driven appliances, such as refrigerators or washing machines. These appliances rely on motors to operate their compressors, pumps, or other mechanical components. If the voltage supplied to the motor is reduced by a dimmer, the motor may not be able to start or run properly. This can cause the motor to overheat and potentially burn out. In addition, the reduced voltage can affect the appliance's performance, such as its ability to cool or wash clothes effectively. The National Electrical Code is updated regularly to reflect changes in technology and industry best practices. It is important to stay informed about the latest code requirements to ensure that electrical installations are safe and compliant. Many resources are available to help electricians and homeowners understand the National Electrical Code, including training courses, seminars, and online publications. In addition to the National Electrical Code, local electrical codes may also apply. These codes may be more stringent than the National Electrical Code and may address specific local conditions or concerns. It is important to check with the local building department to determine which codes are in effect in your area. When performing electrical work, it is essential to use the proper tools and equipment. This includes insulated screwdrivers, wire strippers, voltage testers, and other specialized tools. Using the wrong tools can damage electrical components or increase the risk of electrical shock. It is also important to wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses and gloves, to protect yourself from injury. Before starting any electrical work, it is essential to turn off the power to the circuit at the breaker box. This will prevent accidental electrical shock. It is also a good idea to test the circuit with a voltage tester to ensure that the power is completely off. When working with wiring, it is important to follow proper wiring techniques. This includes making sure that all connections are tight and secure, using the correct size of wire for the circuit, and protecting the wiring from damage. It is also important to label all wires and circuits clearly so that they can be easily identified in the future. After completing any electrical work, It is important to inspect the work carefully to ensure that it is safe and compliant with the National Electrical Code. This includes checking all connections, testing the circuit with a voltage tester, and verifying that all devices are functioning properly. If you are not comfortable performing electrical work yourself, it is best to hire a qualified electrician. A qualified electrician has the knowledge, skills, and experience to perform electrical work safely and correctly. They can also help you to ensure that your electrical system is compliant with the National Electrical Code and local electrical codes. In conclusion, the National Electrical Code prohibits the connection of receptacles to dimming circuits for several important safety reasons. Dimmers are designed to control lighting loads, and using them for receptacles can cause overheating, appliance damage, and fire hazards. It is essential to follow the National Electrical Code and local electrical codes when performing electrical work to ensure the safety of people and property. Always consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns about electrical safety.